Since their creation of the Beidou Navigation Satellite System, China has been proving their monstrous capabilities when it comes to navigation and communication services. They have definitely become a country to watch out for, as they obviously seek to compete with the US government-owned GPS with their creation of the Hongyan Constellation. With that said, a lot of people can't help but wonder if the Hongyan Constellation is the next big thing. Will it actually be the future of the navigation satellite system and not Starlink? Welcome to International Tech Masters. If you are new to this channel, we create videos about the latest technology events. Today, we will discover a new navigation system created by China that is completely independent from their previous work, Beidou, that will seemingly top Elon Musk's famous Starlink when it comes to power and efficiency. Starlink's goal has been to make 5G access available to almost everyone in the world, particularly in areas where connectivity is unavailable, by connecting to a Starlink satellite dish. But the Hongyan Constellation appears to be more accessible with its dual purpose. Aside from offering 6G connectivity, it can also enable constant links between space and ground stations and spacecraft as they transit through space. What are your thoughts? Do you think that the Hongyan Constellation is on its way to becoming the most powerful navigation system orbiting space? Or are its aspirations too good to be true, and Starlink will probably continue its success until their projected extension? Share your thoughts with other tech geeks below. China's first navigation satellite system, the Beidou Navigation System, is one of the 4 core space-based satellite navigation systems that orbit the Earth. And so, China was the first to produce a navigational system offering both navigation and communication services. Since then, it has provided services to over 1.1 billion people in more than 200 countries around the world, which is definitely impressive. Right now, the BDS is definitely elevating China above others, as their homegrown navigational system is regarded as a technological independence from the West. However, the West doesn't actually think that the BDS will be a threat to the dominance of US government-owned GPS. But with the Hongyan Constellation in the making, Starlink may have finally found its rival in being the next navigational system space king. So, how exactly is the Hongyan Constellation going to defeat Starlink's success? Let's begin with how Starlink is doing right now since its launch. Currently, it offers services in 37 countries worldwide, with about 500,000 subscribers. And so, you might have noticed that it has way fewer users than China's BDS. This is because Starlink has been facing a backlog of prospective customers waiting to receive their equipment. To add to that, a bunch of controversies have also surrounded Starlink, mainly because of the number of satellites they have released to orbit the Earth. Currently, there are 3,271 Starlink satellites in orbit, and this has already raised concerns from the scientific community, specifically its impact on nighttime sky visibility. Also, after Starlink had secured $885.5 million in grant funds from the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC canceled their subsidies, saying that Starlink had failed to meet program requirements. Obviously, Starlink hasn't really been doing well in terms of its efficiency and performance, so their plan to deploy a total of 42,000 satellites has been in question. That is why China seems to be reading this situation well, and is working hard to successfully complete their Hongyan Constellation launch before Starlink gets to its extension of 42,000 satellites. Word about the promising Hongyan Constellation has quickly spread, so a lot of people can't help but wonder, is the future of the navigation satellite system here? But before we dive deeper into the Hongyan Constellation, if you have been liking what you're hearing, why don't you give this video a like, hit the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell to discover more interesting information like this. Going back, here are the things we know about the Hongyan Constellation, and so far, it's full of good stuff. First, remember when it was mentioned that Starlink plans to further expand its reach by deploying a total of 42,000 small low Earth orbit satellites in the future? It might sound like a powerful move, but actually, having a larger number of satellites will pose more different concerns, particularly in terms of cost and maintenance. This is not like the Hongyan Constellation, which only plans to launch 300 low Earth orbit small satellites. a way smaller number compared to Starlink's, that will operate with a global data surface processing center. Second, China's Hongyan Constellation offers more than just internet connectivity. The system includes full-time, real-time two-way communication that will enable users to access communication services in any environment or situation. The constellation can not only transmit data in real time throughout the day, but it can also provide full coverage of the poles and oceans, as well as real-time monitoring and tracking of aircraft carriers all over the world. This also means that users will be able to have a consistent signal wherever they go, in addition to the high-speed connection through 6G connectivity that they offer. And now that we're talking about 6G connectivity, perhaps you've heard that Starlink can do that as well, providing a high-speed connection directly from space to the ground. However, keep in mind that in order to use Starlink services, you must first sign up for them, and then wait for the equipment to arrive and be set up before you can use it. So, China is like saying, we can do all that too, but way more efficiently. The goal of creating the Hongyan Constellation is to provide navigation and communication services to everyone without the hassle of requisitioning. They will do this by manufacturing 6G communication base stations that will be installed on satellites, allowing the Hongyan satellite to channel 6G signals to the ground directly from space. It appears that China will be successful in utilizing 6G connectivity research and development after the US failed to achieve an absolute advantage with its 5G connectivity. It seems like China is only going from impressive to phenomenal. They have demonstrated the ability and capacity to advance network technology through the development of the Beidou Navigation System before, and now they are in the process of creating what seems to be the future of navigation satellite systems, which sets China for a momentous achievement. If they manage to perfect it exactly as they designed it to be, China will be the first to successfully launch the most complete satellite network system currently available. When all this goes as planned, they will be practically the leading force when it comes to the world of satellite navigation. So far, are you liking the idea and the future promises of the Hongyan Constellation? Or do you feel a bit hesitant with the overwhelming power this navigation system from China has? Whatever you may think, we can all agree that the Hongyan Constellation navigation and communication satellite system has a real shot at being the next big thing in its field. With Starlink facing limitations and raising concerns in the scientific community right now, we can say that its path towards being the leading force in the space-based navigation system is kind of unstable and definitely needs some rearranging. However, we still can't confidently say that Starlink has lost its chance of regaining the trust and applause of many. Its plan to soon launch 42,000 small, low-orbit satellites doesn't seem to be at a standstill, so it is most likely that Starlink isn't backing down from improving the system. The finishing of the Hongyan Constellation will take 10 years, if not more, and we'll have to see what steps Starlink will take during that period. The world around us is continuously changing, and communication will only continue to improve through the years. With such an evolving world, what changes are you willing to partake in for the betterment of the place we live in? No matter how small we think we may be, our choices shape the kind of world we live in today. And these choices must be made with the proper information. We hope we have supplied you with the information you needed to be up to date with this important moment in navigation and communication satellite system history. But before you go, why don't you check out our other videos by clicking on the button above? And lastly, if you want to know more about the latest tech news, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell to keep you posted.